My friends, welcome to our Sunday gathering. We're so grateful you're here today. Those first two songs I have chosen, and Lawrence picked the other three songs that we will hear today. Our theme is peace. And last night I heard those songs and they just struck me as the right thing. Now, that Michael Franti song, that last one we just heard, it brought a tear to my eye. Break up with everything, even if it's me. And to me, it's a song about peace. We get so busy in our lives. We have so many responsibilities. And if I were to ask you to write down everything on a piece of paper that you're responsible for, things that you've signed up with, and sometimes it's overwhelming. And sometimes we need that little inventory of our life and what's causing you peace and what isn't. And it's okay to do that moral inventory. And not saying you got to break up with people in your life, but it just gives us a little perspective when we can take a moral inventory. And our first song, Let It Be, also screams peace to me because how often in our life are we so busy with things and then things go wrong and we make them wrong and it causes us suffering. But sometimes when we can choose things exactly how they are, not saying they're right, not saying they're wrong, but just let it be. We can kind of rise above and we might get new ideas, new ways of handling things. There might be some peace that arises, just some new thoughts. So that's my music contribution for today. Yes, our theme today is peace, and it's going to unwind and develop as it will with the help with our friends in the spirit world. I'm joined by wonderful Lawrence Saville today, who's an evidential medium, a healer, and he's the president of Poole Christian Spiritualist Church in Dorset, England. He will be doing our opening and closing prayer, our address for today, and also the demonstration of mediumship. You've got me for the reading, the healing, and the little in between bits, the announcements and things like that. So if this is your first time to the Sunday gathering or you've been here before, we're here for about 90 minutes-ish. And we do our very best, of course, to bring the evidence of the continuity of life, that our loved ones are still around. But once we really fully understand that, that leaves us with a big thing for our life. Who am I? What is my life for? How can we best serve and live? So each week we have a different theme, and our hope and goal is always to provide you everything that we can so that your life shines a little brighter and you've got some tools to let that soul shine as bright as possible. So with that, a big welcome, and I'm going to turn it over to Lawrence for our opening prayer.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Sandra. As ever, a wonderful and gracious hostess. It's a sheer delight to be able to serve your platform. So, dear friends, we could just find that time now in this ever-increasing world of busyness, in this world which besets us at every twist and every turn, to lay those troubles, lay those worries, lay those concerns to one side. For now is our time. Now is our time wherever we are in this big, beautiful world that we inhabit, to join together in that oneness, in that energy, that thought, that power of prayer. And as we join together as one, include in those words for peace of afflicted minds, for peace in afflicted countries, for peace within our own lives and those of those we know, but to bring that peace, that enduring, everlasting, compassionate, enfolding energy of peace and joy. So now as we enter in this time, once more, each together but each united wherever we are, we celebrate that knowledge that life and love are eternal, that death is a transition from one stage of life to the next. Amen.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Always nice to see you. Again, friends, our theme today is peace. So here's our reading. When we hear the word peace, which is something we hear all the time, but do we know truly what it is? So often we think of peace as something we have to chase or build. But this nursery rhyme that I love holds the secret. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Peace isn't found in the frantic paddling, it is found in the gentleness in the flow. So much of our anxiety comes from feeling like we are paddling against a current we cannot see, straining and struggling. Today, I want to share a story about that struggle and about the profound peace that comes from finally letting go and building a bridge. Here's my parable. In a village nestled deep in a valley lived an old, wise boat builder with his two sons, Calin and Finn. Calin, the elder, was strong, impatient, and believed that his will could conquer any challenge. Finn, the younger, was quiet, watchful, and believed in listening before acting. As the village prepared for the summer solstice, the father gave his sons a task. He had carved two identical, beautiful ceremonial boat oars, and they were to be delivered to the temple in the great village by the sea. He gave them each a small, sturdy boat and this final piece of advice. "The journey is long, my sons," he said, placing a hand on each of their shoulders. "Remember, the river knows the way. Do not fight her. Just guide your boat. She wants to reach the sea just as much as you do." Calin gritted his teeth, determined to be the first to arrive. He attacked the water, paddling furiously, his muscles straining. He saw the wide, deep central current of the river, but thought, "That is way too slow." He chose instead to cut through the faster, shallower rapids near the bank, forcing his boat across tricky cross currents. His boat scraped on stones, and he spent all of his energy cursing the rocks and fighting the water, sweat stinging his eyes. Finn, however, pushed his boat into the water and simply listened for a moment. He watched the way the leaves drifted. Remembering his father's words, he found the deep central current and pointed the bow of the boat. He didn't paddle with all of his might. He simply dipped his oar into the water, now to the left, now to the right, steering gently. He was in harmony with the river, and because he wasn't fighting, he noticed the hawk circling overhead. He saw the sunlight filter through the willow trees. He was moving faster than Calin, with almost no effort at all. Hours later, Calin was exhausted. His boat was stuck fast in a tangle of roots. He pulled, he pushed, he swore, but he was trapped. Finally defeated, he dropped his head into his hands and simply gave up. He stopped fighting. As he sat there, the gentle rocking of the water soothed him. The current he had been fighting nudged his boat, gently turning it, working it free. He was finally floating, carried by the very power he had resisted. He rounded the final bend, and there on the shore of the great village, he saw his brother Finn. But Finn wasn't just waiting, he was eagerly watching for him. The moment he saw Calin's boat, Finn waded into the water, his hand outstretched. He took the rope of his brother's boat and gently guided him to the soft sand, helping him ashore. Calin stepped onto the land, his shoulders and his spirit aching. How did you beat me here?" he panted. Finn smiled, placing a hand on his brother's arm. "I didn't beat you," he said gently. "The river brought me. When you stop fighting, you realize it's a bridge, not a battle. I just came ashore and waited to help you cross." So, what's the meaning of this parable? Friends, we are all, every single day, both Calin and Finn. The river is life, and inside us we have Calin, our anxious mind, screaming that we must paddle harder and force our will upon the world. It's a path of exhaustion and isolation. But we also have Finn, our soul, whispering the truth. The river knows the way. When we listen to that voice, we find our own peace. We learn to steer instead of struggle. That is the first step and the most important step, finding our own shore. But the journey doesn't end there. Look what Finn did. He didn't just get to the shore and celebrate his own arrival. He turned back and put his hand out for his struggling brother. This is our sacred calling, you see. Once we find our peace, once we learn to float, our next step is to look for the others who are still fighting the current, trapped in their own roots of their own struggle. Our peace is not meant to be a private island. It is meant to be the solid ground from which we build a bridge to others. We can't force them to stop paddling, but we can stand firmly in our own shore, hold out our hand, steady, and be the loving, steady presence that helps them find their way. Love can build that bridge. And so now, as we go into our healing and we hear a beautiful song, I want you to bring to mind someone who is struggling upstream, someone in your life or in your community or in the world who is in a place of pain or fear or in need of some healing. And that might be you yourself. So let's stand together on our peaceful shore and send out our loving healing. Let's build a bridge of healing light to them and you right now. As we go into our healing, the song that Lawrence has chosen is Love Can Build a Bridge by the Judds. When the song ends, the next voice you'll hear will be our dear friend Lawrence for the address.
And thank you for that beautiful parable. I absolutely loved every moment of that. The statement, the price of peace is eternal vigilance. This has been widely attributed to many people, including Thomas Jefferson. However, it is probably derived from an earlier statement of Irish orator John Philpot Curran in 1790, and he stated, "The condition upon which God hath given liberty to man is eternal vigilance." What does that mean? Eternal vigilance. It's so eloquently placed in the parable that Sandra shared earlier here. That eternal vigilance is that balance between knowing the direction we wish to go, knowing the route that we can travel, but also being aware of the pitfalls, mindful of the snares and traps that we can encounter along the way. But what is peace? What is peace? We often look to the spirit world and ask, when will there be peace in this world? When? And it's so common, it's so everywhere you hear this. We go and petition. We petition God to bring us peace. We petition the spirit world to bring us peace. We petition whatever religious background we're from to bring us peace. But peace is not a gift. Peace is not something to be given. As the saying goes, eternal vigilance is the price for peace. So we must learn ourselves that we are responsible for peace. There are many gardeners, I'm sure, in the room today. And to keep the garden looking beautiful requires work. It requires planning. It requires being out there in all weathers. It requires tending and watering in the dry times. It requires clearing away the debris and trimming back for the winter months. When you work in the garden, every day is a work day. There is always something there to be done to keep that garden looking beautiful. And we often look at all the plants and seeds that we've shared and planted throughout the year. And sometimes we may need to move something for it overshadows everything else around. Other times we see a plant that may be in need of that company to help it to bloom and blossom and grow. But it's that eternal vigilance of the garden. It's looking and wondering and planning ahead. But when we talk of planning ahead and when we bring in the element of peace, I'm very much of the theory that the future is manifold. Tomorrow's world has yet to be created. And that world is going to be created by the energy and the thoughts and the actions of today. We think of time as a linear progression. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I think, I feel, and I've experienced that it's quite different. The future is an opportunity. An opportunity is my favorite word. Absolutely favorite. Because tomorrow is the day that we create today. Next year is the future that we create with our actions, our thoughts, our deeds of today. We're all, and each and every one of us, co-creators. Each and every one of us has that thread of the divine within us. We can choose to make the day glorious. We can choose to make situations untenable. We can choose to find reconciliation. So often we're swayed by everything that goes on around us, by the social media, by the news, by the newspapers, by coffee shop gossip. And it's so easy to be led down here, down there, wherever, forgetting our own path, forgetting our own ability to create that peace within our life today, to bring forward that energy of peace, to tend to that energy of peace, to constantly unfold and unfurl and entwine with that energy of peace. Not only for ourselves, but for those that we meet, to bring those peaceful words, to diffuse arguments, to bring about healing, to bring around upliftment, all come from a heart center of peace. And the more in tune, the more in balance we are with that peace, the greater that sphere of influence we can cast around us. And in these days, as we're learning here today, this is not only just now in the physical world, we're having this little insight into the world of energy. I'm sat here thousands of miles apart from the wonderful Sandra. Yet here we are conversing as we were sat next to each other. Here we are in that same energy, that same intent, that same purpose to bring forward the inspiration from the spirit world. Because the spirit world are there to inspire us. They are there to uplift us, but not to do it for us. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Spirit, bring me this. Spirit, bring me that. Spirit, bring me this. Unfortunately, that's not the way. If it were, I would have won last night's lottery. But I haven't. So that's fine. But remember back to the early years, the formative years. And I'm sure many of you will remember this lesson of when you first worked. Maybe it was odd jobs, maybe it was selling lemonade, maybe it was employment, whatever. And you got that first wage packet. You got that first reward for that time and the energy that you put in. I remember mine, my first wage packet was wow, because I'd earned it, because I'd put the work in, because I'd given that my vigilance. So when we look for things to be given to us, quite often we don't appreciate the value. We can lose sight of the real value of the gifts that are given to us. But that which we work for, that which we put the effort in, that which we make up that intent and carry on, the rewards from that are heartfelt, of value, and of greatness too. So, the price of peace is eternal vigilance, not eternal fighting, not eternal ignoring, not eternal dismissing, but realizing that you can do something today to make all our tomorrows so much better. And on that note of today, there's a wonderful poem, The Lessons of the Watermill. Learn to make the most of life, lose no happy day. Time will never bring thee back, chances swept away. Leave no tender word unsaid, love whilst love shall last. The mill cannot grind with the water that has passed. Oh, the wasted hours of life that have drifted by. Oh, the good that might have been, but lost without a sigh. Love that we might once have saved by a single word. Thoughts conceived but never penned, and perishing unheard. Take the lesson to thyself, take and hold it fast. The mill cannot grind with the water that has passed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Beautiful words. We have a lovely theme going on today, don't we? Everyone feeling a bit of peace, giving you something to think about, and maybe even some actions to take, we hope. Eternal vigilance. I like that. Friends, we're going to go now into our demonstration of mediumship. And this is just an opportunity for our Sunday gathering community members in the spirit world to say hello. Well, actually, it's a lot more than that. It's an opportunity for us each to know that when we pass, even though our bodies are gone, we live on. Energy cannot be destroyed, not for the life of us. So with that, Lawrence will be our medium for today. I'd like to share a little bit about how this goes for our new community members here. There will be some members of our community that will get a reading today, but those in the spirit world step forward on behalf of all of us. Just like Lawrence and I are hoping that our words make a difference for our over 120 people here with us today, those from the spirit world do the same thing. So while, yes, there will people that will get some individual messages, I 100% believe they're here for all of us, because if you listen on the edge of your seat, just like hoping you did for Lawrence's address, you'll hear just how close our family members are, how maybe they witness different things happening in our life. Maybe there's some words they need to share that you need to hear, even if it's not your loved one. So, as Lawrence and I are the human beings here on behalf of all of us alive on our Sunday gathering, we'll get some members from the spirit world on behalf of all of our loved ones. They continue to learn and grow and experience and love on the other side. And I don't know how they do it, but I know they can do it. They can multitask and be right here with us and loving us and be part of our lives. So we'll find that out someday. But for today, just know that they are with you, not just on Sundays, but so often. So with that, Lawrence has his own way that he'll request those in the spirit world who want to work with him to do so. You will hear him give a description about the spirit person that has connected with him. So again, everybody on the edge of your seat, could this be your person? Now, it could be a friend, it could be a relative, could be a loved one, could be somebody you worked with, could be somebody from the past. The spirit world works in weird, wonderful ways, and we never know what they have planned, but really listen in. If it is your person, it means they no longer are taking breath in this world. They are on the other side. So if you can understand the entire description of the person, we want you to press your raise hand button. So this is an opportunity for everyone to find how you press that raise hand button on Zoom. Go ahead and press it for me now. If you're looking for it, if you're on a device like an iPad or a phone, you might need to press 3 little dots before the raise hand button appears. So just press it. I know I ask you this every single time, but why this is important is often there's more than one person that can take all the information. So Lawrence, or whichever medium we have, will continue working, giving bits of information. And you'll see that that raise hand button now has turned to lower hand. So if you find you can no longer take that information, go ahead and press that lower hand button now. Just a little practice, burns a calorie. We can all use that. If you're the last hand standing, so to speak, I will press a button and you'll get a little pop-up signal on your side that host would like you to unmute, and only then you'll see an unmute button appear. You will be off camera, don't worry. But for your energy, we'd love to hear your voice. And when I say your voice, here's the thing. Whether it's on our Sunday gathering or anytime you ever have a medium reading, please let the medium do the work, all right? All we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know to the information. We often want to share and all those things, but believe it or not, there's some mediums out in the world that aren't trained very well or may not have the integrity and want you to fill in the dots. No, let them do the work. That's why it's so important that we just say that yes, no, or I don't know. Okay. And then after reading, you can always tell them what fit. So with that, please, again, all the information that comes through, the evidence, even if it's not your loved one, try on that maybe it is for you, that there's something in each and every reading that can serve you by being here today. So we always like to play a piece of music before we have our demonstration. Today is no different. This is a new song to me, found by Lawrence. The title, let me find it again, is Proud by Heather Small. So we'll listen to that. Just feel your loved ones. Use that creative center. We might call it our imagination, but that's the communication means. If you want to just picture them in the room with you or whatever that may be, feel free to do so. After the song ends, we'll have our demonstration with Lawrence. Here is the music video. That was one powerhouse of a song. Thank you for that, Lawrence.
Pleasure. So, while I don't know if you could see me singing away quite, it was a good job I was on mute, should we put it that way? A lady was coming very, very close. Now, I do realize today, of course, is the 24th anniversary of that day that stopped the world. That terrible, terrible day, and we all have our own memories of the events that transpired from that. But I feel this lady is actually connected to New York. She would have been in, I want to say New Jersey. Now, I've never been to your country, so I'm relying totally on the information I'm getting. I want to be in New Jersey with this lady because I can also hear a twang in her, the way she speaks. And she's just sharing memories of that awful, awful day. And she would have taken this active role, not only standing, she says, because the roads were full of people watching what was unfolding before them with horror. But she would played some supportive role here in either feeding or bringing refreshments to those that were engaged in their tasks of rescue and control. Who would understand this lady, please? I've got a very strong energy here. Very straight talk. I like straight talking people here. Who do you want to talk to? I feel I want to be talking to a lady, and I do feel like almost a sisterly vibration coming in on that as well. So have we got anybody with that, Sandra, please?
Let's ask. All right, friends. This lady was involved on the September 11th, that day the earth changed for sure. Who can understand this information, or you think you may be able to? Press your raise hand button for us, please.
I've got the energy of the involvement, not as in frontline, but one of those wonderful people behind the scenes that would have been there to give a hand, would have been there to console, would have been there to feed and bring refreshment in a purely natural and spontaneous way.
All right, John, you have your hand raised. If you could unmute yourself, you should see the unmute button now. It could have been an accident that you raised your hand, John H., but your hand is raised. No? Not unmuting, so it could be an error.
Okay.
Sometimes we accidentally press that raise hand button, as we know. Oh, Bonnie has her hand raised. Let's see here. Wait, oops, hold on a second. Well, Bonnie, did you raise your hand, Bonnie? You raised it and lowered it. Yes, today is the 7th of September. We know it's not the 11th, but we're talking about
sorry, our dates, UK and American dates are back to front.
Right. But we know what you mean. Okay, Bonnie, you have your hand raised. Could you press that unmute button? You should see it now. Hi, Bonnie.
Oh, hi. That must have been an accident because I wasn't trying to raise my hand. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
No problem. No problem. I'm not ignoring this lady because she's getting a little bit snippy, I'll be quite honest with you, which is fine. And so wouldn't we all? We make all that journey all the way back and somebody's not recognizing us. So every right to be a bit snippy, my darling. But also very hot on her heels is a gentleman. I believe this to be Marine Corps uniform. It's like a mid-blue. And I can see the collar is just like a stand-up collar, not a fold over like mine, but a stand-up collar. We've got the beret on, ribbons. 3 rows of ribbons are coming in with this gentleman as well. And he's stood here very quietly, very resolutely, very much to attention. Is that helping anybody make this link, please?
Thank you. And this may not be an immediate family member, so sometimes we have to think outside the box here. Holly?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I could potentially take that. Can you go any further with it?
So you can take the lady and the gentleman?
No, I'm sorry, just the gentleman.
Just the gentleman, right. I had a feeling we got 2 vying for attention here. I'm going to put the lady, if I can, on abeyance. Victoria. Victoria links with the lady as well. But going back to the gentleman, he's very handsome. I've got a very square set face. And the military approach about him was his life. Would you understand that, please? Holly.
Yes, I could still potentially understand that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He's just stood here very much to attention at the moment, which is not helping on the communication, although he's just giving me a little smile as we're sort of slowly warming to each other here, and a little wink. But I do notice with him, when I say this word, please don't take it in the negative context, but there's a devilment about him. Do you understand that, please? There is this deep-rooted sense of fun that would come out.
Yes.
Yeah. Because just when he winked and his eyes just lit up, and I thought, oh, right, yeah, you're not that straightforward here. That's wonderful, 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 wonderful. He's bringing in very much the energy of remembrance for this anniversary of today. There was, again, some connection with him and what transpired in New York. Do you understand that, please?
No, I can't understand that part.
Okay. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Would I be right in understanding him that where he was based was much further south in your country?
Correct.
Right. But I feel this link between where he was based, and I'm almost seeing you know, like they do these pictogram air maps of one country to another. But there
Mhm.
is this link going from down where he is based up to New York. So there must have been some integration from the regiment, or I don't know if you call them regiments or platoons, that would have assisted. But I want to be there more for the clear up. There was machine. There's a link here with heavy machinery as well. Do you understand that with this guy?
I can take heavy machinery, and I don't know, this would have all been preceding September 11th. So, but there are two people in my family. This could be potentially both of them have connection to New York, but it would be distant.
Right. This is it. This is this distance. Bring this down on the personal level, please, sir. As I've just asked him to bring this more to a personal level with you, I've got this incredible affection for you. I have got, this is like a strong brother influence. You understand in that, please?
Not brother, but I could see how you would get there because very joyful, very brotherly.
I know I've got this immense, I want to protect you, I want to look after you, I want to nurture you, and I want the best for you. Yeah?
Yes.
Wonderful. Because this is this energy is coming in, and he's just sort of like easing up a little bit now. See, people don't take into account that when we meet as strangers, we have this time to get to know each other. And it's exactly the same when we work as mediums. We're getting to know each other. And as we sort of like mesh, then the magic starts to unfold. He's bringing forward for you, please, a single white rose. Now, white rose for me is a symbol of remembrance, but I feel this is on a personal level for you, that around this time there is an act of remembrance going on.
I can take that. It's not quite remembrance, but yes, very close. I can tell that you're connecting with the right energy.
Oh, good. So that's wonderful. He's having a little wry smile here. I think he's laughing at my ham-fisted attempts at connecting, so that's fine. I don't mind a critique. But I know he's just bringing in a great deal of joy, but he's also bringing in a great deal of healing for you at this time. And I want to be working around lower back and kidney area here and going down into the hips where I feel like we're suffering from a bit of discomfort in that area. Is that right, Holly?
Another medium told me that last week, I think it's about fears about money rather than physical pain, but yes, you're correct.
Fine. But he's just bringing that healing energy, that healing balm in here for you, and the reassurance as well, because he makes me feel as though I feel a little bit lost at this time. I feel a little bit disconnected from those around me. Are you understanding that? Have I put that in the right way, please?
The person you're connecting with definitely felt that way.
Okay, thank you. But he's also just mirroring that on you as well. That I feel like somebody's let me down just recently. Show me in time. 3 to 4 weeks ago, somebody really sort of like let me down, which took me back a bit.
Yeah, I can take that.
Good. Well, not good, but yes. But he's just saying, you know what? He said in the long play, is he a baseball fan as well? Now I know nothing about baseball.
Yes. Yes.
Right, because I've just seen when he said the long play and it was the whack. We call it rounders over here. He's just all right. He's saying, will you get on with it? He's just saying in the long play, things even out, things don't, things have their own perspective. You said today it could be like that, tomorrow it'll be over there. You said just ride with it, just ride with it. All right. Wonderful gentleman, privilege to work with him. Show me that again. Is it the purple heart that you have over there for injury in action?
Yes, so in Valor, he did get one, yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I could see it, and I'm unsure of the actual significance of it, but he's just brought that in. But as he's brought that in, he's just unclasping it and presenting it to you. So you filled in the blank for me because I thought it was just injury, but you've said for valor.
Mhm.
And that's why he brings that to you at this time.
Lovely.
All right, Holly,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Please, I do not want to lose this lady from Brooklyn. I've just queried the New Jersey, and I don't even know if these are the same area as Brooklyn. Brooklyn, that had this story to tell of that day, but she engaged in helping people, not frontline stuff, in the background, but she gave help because this is how she operated. She was a very supportive lady for all the front, and there was quite a lot of it. She's laughing, thankfully. For all the front, she's got a heart of gold. And I do feel I want to connect to a lady with a sisterly vibration. Now, I'm not saying it is biological sister, but that sort of relationship. Anybody at all, please, because I've got this horrible fear that everybody that I can't place will be waiting for me the day that I cross over the other side and going, "You never got me." So I'm trying to whittle that cue right down. I'll leave that out there. I know somebody, the person I'm linking with has got, show me, something like a round crystal stone, but it's like a milky white, because I know we're having the lunar eclipse as we talk. But it's almost like a pale round moon. It's about that big, like a marble type material. So I know the person that I'm trying to connect with here has got this interest and ability to work with crystals, because that was part of the link with this lady. And I'll leave it there. If anybody does get that, please put your hand up, because she's very definitely here. George. That's what we said. Thank you. On a separate link, I'm just having the name of George. Oh, Lisa. What do you understand, Lisa? Because it's so...
I know it. Okay. My mom was in 9/11 when it happened. She's from New York. I can take, my sister's name is Victoria, which they said Vicky for short. She was very helpful, but I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what transpired until she got back.
Thank you. I won't tell you the exact words your mum just said, but
I'm sure.
she's pleased. And so am I, because from the word go. So you would understand with your mother, she had this natural helpfulness.
Yes.
And she wouldn't go away and crow about it, you know, say, I've done this and done that. But most certainly when she was helping people, it was not only through the physical act, it was also through an almost unique point of view, because she would give a perspective to people.
Yes.
And talk through and say, well, cool, you know, had you not married him, this wouldn't be happening now, but you did, so we need to. She's got this way of life.
Yes.
I love it. She's got this unique perspective.
Yes, she does.
She didn't hold back, does she?
No.
She wasn't rude,
Nope.
but she was just so honest in what she said.
Yes.
Wonderful thing there was, if you stood your ground, because some people were a bit, whoa. But if you stood your ground, she loved that.
Yes.
She loved a good talk. She loved,
Yes.
okay, you know. It wasn't seen as a challenge, it was seen as an interest. It was like, oh, good, I can really engage with this person. But she is
Definitely.
about that day. And she's just saying we did what we could, the whole neighborhood. Tell me, please, where your mother lived, is this a heavily Italian dominated neighborhood?
I'm not sure, but she lived in New York.
Okay, okay. I just feel she's just talking about the Italians. She said everybody was doing what we could. And she said, and the Italians were doing what they're best at. She said they were
I'm
cooking.
sure. I'm sure.
She said they were cooking so much pasta, we would never have starved. And she's
Yes.
laughing about that. But I feel with your mother, there is a much more homely approach to cooking. A very, should we say, solid diet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, meat and 2 veg, and that's good. Yeah, yeah, this is it. This is everything about your mum is really homely and comforting.
Yes.
It's not fluffy,
Nope.
not fluffy at all. Dependable. It's reliable. And it didn't change. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And that was worth more than anything. Because you knew exactly what you were going to get. You knew exactly how things were going to be.
Yes.
You knew where your mum stood. You knew what your mum would say or wouldn't say. But
Definitely.
she tells me, she goes back in your timeline here. Tell me, please, what age would you have been when you had the longer hair that was either braided or plaited?
My younger years.
Okay, but she's going back because she's talking about then. She went, I knew about all the young boys. She said, I knew what was going on, not in a detrimental way. But she had, she said, all the young men had an eye for her. She said, oh, that was lovely. She said, I was proud because she said, oh, you know, there was lines, there were parameters, there were the proper decorum, proper etiquette. But she such as said, she said, I used to smile. She said, I'll tell you off sometimes about the way you dress. And she said, but
Yes.
when I turned away, I would be grinning from ear to ear. She said, because I was hearing my mother talking to me. And she said, and I found that hilarious.
Oh, for sure. Sounds just like her.
Yeah. She's just saying about the transition. She don't want to go into detail or in depth or anything about that. But she says it wasn't as painful as was thought. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right. She said, don't listen to what people think. She said, how can they tell? She said, they never went through it. I did. Go on, me. She just said, it wasn't as painful as people said. It was uncomfortable, she says. It was uncomfortable. She said, but do you know what? At the end, the peace, oh, thank you, keeping in theme. She said the peace just started to flow. And she said, and it wasn't the drugs. She said it was just finding that peace. Tell me, please, father would have gone over before mother?
Yes.
Because she's talking about this gentleman that came to meet her. And
Yes.
These two were married quite some time, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And she said, I knew my holiday was over because when I opened my eyes and he was stood there, I thought, oh, here we go.
Sounds like her.
But of course, that love energy. But she's just so grateful. I'm so grateful because I couldn't have done what I did without the support from friends and family. And she's a great one for community. She's a great
Yeah.
one for togetherness. And she's a great arbitrator because if there was any discourse or any arguments going on, she'd be the one to sort of like go in and go, right, come on, what's going on
Yes.
here? Yeah, and wading in. And she's just saying, I want to thank everybody. Mercy Hospital, what's that? Mercy Hospital.
That's where she was born.
Okay, because she's just bringing to mind thoughts of there. And there was some link between a passing and a birthplace. we're talking a bequest here or something donated on to that hospital?
I don't recall.
You don't recall, but I just feel there was some link there between where she passed and where she was born. There was some assistance given there.
Whoa, oh, yes,
You got
yes,
it.
yes,
Super, super, super.
yes.
But I was pleased for that. It was nice to give back.
Yeah, I had a major surgery there and came out fine, and that's where she was born. And she was right there by my side the whole time.
Wonderful. Well, not wonderful you had surgery, but yeah, wonderful you
I'm fine.
got that link. Just easing away now. She's just gently easing away, but as she does, there's a little bit of melancholy about her. But I feel this is the state of the world because she would worry about the world.
Yes,
She would worry about things going on. It didn't matter if it was over there or over here, it was all the same place to her.
yes,
And she's just got that little bit of melancholy, and she says, things will be fine. Things will be fine. And she's just with that energy, but she's got all my love. And thank you. Thank you so much.
thank you, Lawrence. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
I'm so pleased on her behalf because she was just so insistent. And if I hadn't placed her, she would have sat there nagging me all night. So, right. I want to go back, please, with the name of George. And step firmly in. As I'm working with this gentleman, and I understand his name to be George in the spirit world. A bit more of a character. Remember your characters. I've got quite an educated gentleman here. I've got a gentleman here that would read. I've got a gentleman here that could hold a discussion and a debate about things. I've got a gentleman too with a link and a closeness to nature. Now, I was just showing himself here. This is a very mountainous scene. It's beautiful. We don't have mountains in the UK. We only have hills. This is a mountainous scene going on here. And I know I've got the trees, the forest stretching up into the mountains. I know I've got this river coming by. And there is this shack. I feel this is like a holiday or a fishing jaunt that we would have gone on. But the scene is just picture perfect. It's absolutely beautiful. But I know this link because I wanted to go into nature to recharge before I came back into the world. I've got a good sense of balance with this gentleman, and I feel I want to be talking to another gentleman, please. Again, the name of George. Now, I may have got this wrong, that's not his name, but certainly George will help to make the connection. I don't like to backtrack because stay true to what we get.
Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
That's
Keep
all right.
going.
No, you
Just going
go.
to welcome our friends to press your raise hand button if you understand this information. No hands up just yet. Oh, no.
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 Okay. I would have links to Philadelphia, but I feel this is the person that I need to connect with this side. I want links to Philadelphia. And there's some famous park in Philadelphia, like something gardens. They'd be familiar with this. And also links to the legal profession as well. This is very, very precise, which is all wonderful as long as somebody takes it.
That's Who's getting that little nudge that this might be for you? Press your raise hand button.
Please don't dispel the evidence if one piece doesn't fit. All right, because it is open to the interpretation of the imagery and the sensations that I feel. But you know, if the rest of it fits, but there's one bit that doesn't, that's fine. Let me know and we'll go back and work on that. But I do want to go back to this gentleman because he's very patient. A very scholastic feel to this man. I almost feel like I'd be quite at home in like one of the old-fashioned clubs they used to have in London where they would sit there in silence and read papers. So I may well be going back a good generation here as well with this man. I've got a very strong sense of principles. I've got a very strong sense of right and wrong. And again, this links in with my legal ties going on here. So, where
No one has their hand raised. I wish they did, but they do not.
Okay, through the name.
It's very specific information.
It is. It is very, very straightforward. I'm just asking him. Andrew Sapp. That name has just jumped out at me here. Thank you, sir.
Let's just see. Andrew, could you unmute yourself? Hi, Andrew.
Well, hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
I was just looking through the name. I was just asking for some guidance here. Now, would you understand any of the elements that I've given about this gentleman? If you need a recap, just say.
Yeah, hit the highlights again if you would, please.
I know I've got a very educated, I've got a wonderful presence about this man. I know when I'm in his company, I'm in the company of somebody who has got this presence. I've got a very good mind with this man. I'm well informed and I would enjoy conversation and debate. But I also feel there was a link here to legal side of things. There was an understanding here of legal and legalities, but also this side of him that needed to get away and go to nature to reconnect to ground. So I've got somebody who's got a good balance in their life. Oh, Philadelphia as well.
No, don't get a connection there. Legal profession, yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so not Philadelphia.
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. But you would understand then some of the elements about this gentleman, about the way he was, about his personality, and you understand this link with the legal profession, yeah?
Yes,
And the name of George. Now, was it George? I forget. It was George. I'm not saying that's that gentleman, but there was also a link somewhere with a gentleman called George.
again, not that I know of, but it's certainly possible.
Okay. This is for yourself, I believe. This is more a connection of yourself with George, not from this gentleman. Because I was just asking for something to secure an anchor. Tell me more about the ongoing things here. Sir, with yourself at this time, he's given this impression that my mind is a little bit full of things, that I need to slow things down. I need to be able to almost withdraw from the pace of life a little bit, just to make some sense. And just to bring peace back, keeping on with the theme, bring to peace back into my life. This is for you at this time. Do you understand that, please, sir?
Yes, that fits well.
Yes, thank you. So I'm checking we're in the right area. This gentleman's a great listener as well. He really is. And he's talking about with yourself that the need for somebody to listen to you would be helpful, would be productive for you. He gives me this impression that sometimes you almost have this feeling a little bit like a fish out of water in your environments. That I find it quite difficult sometimes to connect with people. Are you understanding that, please?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because I've got to feel my way through this energy. Not in a detrimental way, but I feel alongside that I'm feeling a little bit insular, a little bit alone as well at times. Even in a crowded room, it's just looking for people that get me. Have you got that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because he's just saying, he said, don't worry about people getting you. He said, just be you. He said, if we want to make people get us, it means we got to change. Oh, he's quite the orator here. He said, if we want people to get us, normally it means we've got to change us so we can come into their understanding. Sometimes we're beyond other people's understanding, and that isn't wrong. That isn't wrong. He said, but, there's a, tell me more, say that again another way. You understand the law of attraction, I'm being told, correct?
Yes.
And he's saying, with that in mind, sometimes we haven't quite thought through that which we are trying to bring into our life. So sometimes we might just want to take a little bit more stock of what we want to attract that will be more beneficial. I really want benefit here for the mind and for the emotions for yourself. Because again, this sense of just feeling slightly cut off from my surroundings is being brought through very strongly. But he's just saying with the law of attraction, he said, try not being so definite. Just ask for something that will bring me peace. Ask for something that will bring me healing. Ask for something that will bring me joy. Because I feel, oh, tell me again that. He's just talking life of late. I want to go back like 7 months here. We can all say we're having a hard life because our definition of hard is our own definition. But he is making me aware that for the last 7 months has been very arduous. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Because he's just saying with this, he says, you're doing really well. You're fighting your own battles. And he said, and by Jove, you're winning. You're winning. And he said, and you don't allow yourself that recognition because you tend to win a battle and you go on to the next one without just taking that pause and going, do you know what? I did it. And he said, that's not selfish, that's selfless when we do this. He's bringing forward, please, like this proper, I want to say a valise, not a briefcase, a valise, the old-fashioned leather ones that sort of like hooked at the top, not firm-sided, but they opened like that. He's bringing this, and as he's, it's a symbolism, as he's bringing this forward, he's showing me all these different deeds. And tell me, please, Andrew, you would have been looking into the history of things as well within the last 12 months, whether this be family or buildings or area or something, but I know I'm digging into the past. Yes?
Yes.
Because this is why he's brought this in this very old-fashioned way. It's wonderful. And he's just saying, the past is there as an example. The past is there not to be relived. The past is there to be improved upon by the teachings of the past. Oh, he's quite the philosopher. He's very astute. I do like his energy. And he brings that around you to bring you that encouragement. And just to bring you that guiding hand, that fostering emotion around you of encouragement and support. And he says, don't neglect your victories. Remember them. All that remembrance again today. Remember those victories and allow yourself that pause before you pick up the mantle once more. The Spirit have never told me that I've got to do something or I must do something. They've always presented it in a way of, have you considered, have you thought about? I need to apply that very much to what's just been said. Spirit world will give us their thoughts, but what we do with it. You have an understanding of spiritualism as well, sir.
I think I do, yes.
Yeah, no, I think you know more than you know.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
let you do it.
Thank you. You just said, typical, hiding his light under a bushel again.
Yeah, I get it.
Yes. There's a very fine line, isn't there? And I know because I err on the side of going, no, not me, not me, not me. There is a fine line between coyness and ego, and we tend to go into the coyness side of it. But it's the whole tenant now, and the whole energy is directed towards you of understanding your own abilities and what you would wish to come. You're a remarkable healer, I'm being told, sir.
Well, perhaps in some ways, yeah.
Healing is not just hands-on. Healing comes in many forms. But he's talking about this healing energy with you because of the intent, because of that peace that you do have within inside you. And he said that is an avenue. That is an avenue that we would like to explore more with you. Up to you entirely. But again, reiterating about the past was only there as an example. It does not dictate where we go from today. So spread your wings, Andrew. Open your wings and open your mind and allow yourself to understand the greatness that is Andrew Sapp. All right? Don't be shy. Don't be coy, but don't go the other way. All right? Please don't stand there and run up a flag and say, look at me, everybody. You don't want to go down that route, but for yourself, understand your greatness. All right, sir?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Everything there resonates. Thank you.
Wonderful. That's the job.
Lawrence, thank you so very much for your heart and soul and being at this for so long. Such a labor of love to reconnect people, and also the philosophy that you shared today. It's always wonderful to share a Sunday gathering with you, and looking forward to the next. Ladies and gentlemen, still coming up, we've got a few announcements, also some empowering words for the week, our closing prayer, and then we have one heck of a powerful song that just caps off our Sunday gathering nicely. So first, what's coming up? On Monday and Tuesday, you can join Scott Milligan and myself for Trance in the Altered States class. It's an opportunity for anyone just looking to quiet that busy mind and blend with the love from the unseen world. Also on Tuesday, we offer Sitting in the Power Hours, another spiritual recharge and time of peace. On Thursday, you're welcome to join Carrie and Phil for The Gentle Path to Spirit to tap into your own natural psychic and mediumistic abilities. Next Sunday, I am joined by mediums and advanced grief recovery specialists, husband and wife team, Kath and Mitch Shirley. We haven't seen them for a while, and they're just very, very special people. Everything you can find at wedon'tdie.com, everything coming up. In fact, A shout out to our friends that have made our Sunday gathering possible by donations. We never pass around a plate, but we are extremely grateful. Thank you. If you should ever wish to donate or watch past Sunday gatherings or register for the next one, just go to the Sunday Gathering page at wedon'tdie.com. So today we learned the secret to peace. We learned that the goal isn't to paddle harder, but to trust the river of life to carry us. We learned that from that place of peace, we can build bridges to others. We spoke about eternal vigilance, tending to our garden and our life and our relationships. And what have we done to make ourselves feel proud? That was a powerful song. We felt the connection with those in the unseen world. We got a few samplings of people come through, but all of our loved ones are cheering us on and they love us dearly. But this leads us to the most important question is why? Why do we seek this peace? We seek it because when you stop wasting your energy fighting the current, you get back all of your precious time and life force. It comes back to us. It really does when we stop the battle. You stop struggling just to survive the journey and you actually can be free to live. And that's just a wonderful way. Even if it's just little pockets of time, they are so critical. So as we prepare for our closing prayer and our final song, I want you to ask yourself the question it poses. If today was your last day, would you finally build that bridge and tell someone you love them? Would you forgive an old hurt? Not for them, but to lighten your own boat for the rest of your journey. Would you laugh louder? Would you love deeper? Would you leave a legacy of kindness? The peace we find is not meant for quiet reflection alone. It is meant to fuel a courageous and a beautiful life. So don't wait. Let this be your anthem today. Go out and live in peace. So with that, I'll send it over to Lawrence for our closing prayer.
So, dear friends, once more, in that unity, that togetherness, that one thought, that one intent, send out our love into this world. Send out our thoughts for peace. Send out our thoughts for healing. Send out our thoughts for togetherness and that realization that under the skin we are identical and in spirit we are the same, each and every one of us connected, like a wide world web, points of light connecting to each other, and remembering that a hurt done to one is done to all. Amen.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, and thank you, friends, for joining us, and to our friends in the spirit world, too. We'll pay closer attention, and we know that you're with us. So this is a powerful song by Nickelback that we are going to close our Sunday gathering with. Let me play it for you now. Well, friends, thanks again for being here. We're so glad. Go register for next week before it's too late. It's not our last day. God willing. WeDon'tDie.com. You can find it all. Thanks again, Lawrence. We'll see everyone again soon. Make it a great week. Find your peace. Be empowered. Tend to your garden. We love you. Bye.